Hi guys, I'm Crystal Sky, and we have another week of Mermay here. This week is water lettuce, which you can see here. This is how I take the pictures. If you're interested, I go on Google and I search water lettuce, whatever I'm searching, and then I just add it in Procreate. I decided to show it this time, just in case anyone may be new to Procreate or don't use it, or you know, just to say, hey, this is how I do this. Anyway, so I did water lettuce this time. I actually really, really hate the way this piece turned out, but because of the way I am and the way that I show pretty much all of the art that I do on my YouTube channel, I wasn't going to not post it just because I hated the way that it turned out. I didn't actually finalize the piece. I did textures, but I didn't do finalizing, actually going in and doing fine details, I guess you could say. But for now, let's start on the thumbnails here. So as you guys saw, I used the shape tool to make a rectangle, and then I go in and I do the thumbnails. So this time I'm showing the thumbnails in not sped up like I did in the other one, and I just felt like it was more fun to describe what I was thinking and the way I was going. So I kind of wanted to have an underwater theme. If you see on the first reference picture there, the water lettuce sits above the water, and then underneath is all these cool looking roots. So I thought maybe I could give her like a water lettuce dress. Maybe she's just went underwater and the water's right above her head, and she just kind of eased the water lettuce. That was kind of the thought that I came up with in this thumbnail, I guess you could say. I wanted to turn the mermaid into water lettuce, so I tried that, and I didn't really like it. I didn't like the way I drew the roots. I couldn't figure out exactly how I would get those spiky kind of roots, so I didn't end up going with this one. Also, a lot of pictures of water lettuce had these little cool water droplets on them, so I thought, oh, I can incorporate that in this one and have the water on the lettuce and also around her because she's underwater. And it really, I think, probably should have gone with that one, because even though I didn't really like it, I felt like it more incorporated water lettuce than the other piece that I ended up doing. It really embodied the plant, I think. And that's what I was going for. So it really embodied the water lettuce more, and even though I didn't like the way it looked, I probably should have gone with it because it ticked most of the boxes with the plant. And what I ended up going with didn't, I don't think, show how water lettuce is, or enough characteristics to identify the mermaid as a water lettuce mermaid. So you'll see here in a minute. But as I'm finishing up this little thumbnail here, some people don't draw eyes or anything with their thumbnails. Some people go into super detail. If you guys are new to art and you haven't tried drawing thumbnails, I would really suggest it. I'm 3 years in now, and thumbnails are something that I felt like I was too over. I was like, oh yeah, I don't need to draw a thumbnail. I don't need to have that extra kind of brainstorming session, but it helps 110%. So if you aren't drawing, even if you're not doing a finalized piece, just to show you where you would like that character on the paper, it's super helpful. It is really helpful, and it shows kind of the overall, maybe if you want to add a background or something, it shows the overall balance of a piece. It's really, really helpful. I cannot tell you how important I think thumbnails are now. Anyway, this is the one that I end up going with. I'm taking inspiration from the water lettuce that is in a bucket. You see it up there. It's the third reference picture over. I just straight up take that bucket and decide to put a mermaid in that bucket. that was the concept there for that one. And I like it because it's a lot more playful, and I enjoy more of a playful style. So that's why I originally went with it. But again, it doesn't show really, it doesn't turn the mermaid into a water lettuce. It doesn't make her represent water lettuce. It just kind of puts her into like a pot with water lettuce. Which is not really what I was gonna go for. But I ended up liking the way it looked, so I ended up bringing it over and doing the full piece with it. Now, normally I would do the sketches for the piece before going into acrylic, but in this piece I decided to just get the textures down and then go sketch on top of it. It was kind of a new process for me. Maybe that's why I didn't like it in the end, but it was a new process for me. So this is just the thumbnail, and then I go in and I do the painting in acrylic. I did end up taking some colors from the reference pictures. I liked the way the thumbnail looked more than I ended up liking the final piece. But I use soft airbrushing to use the color, to pick the colors for the thumbnail. Soft airbrushing is really nice. It covers a lot of ground and it gives it kind of a soft glow. It's a lot easier to rough out colors in this brush, in my opinion. Whew. So sorry. So, I decided to give her like a purple crop top, almost. Most mermaids use, or if mermaids exist, they use, bathing suit tops, or like made out of shells or something. But in this case, since she's in a human-made tub, I decided I could give her like a real swimsuit kind of top. So that was where my mind was going with that. I imagine she's the queen of the water lettuce. I gave her that's what that little water lettuce on the top of her head was kind of supposed to represent, like a crown. Like, she is the queen of this water lettuce. But of course, I don't think anyone's ever heard of water lettuce. So she's the queen of this particular pile of water lettuce. That was kind of the idea. I was laughing. I thought it was super cute. If you see how I'm putting the water lettuce around her, for the thumbnail, I decided I was only going to do, like, this is kind of what the water lettuce would look like, right? I only used the reference photo. I decided not even to do the detail on the water lettuce in the pot there, because I wasn't liking the way it turned out. So in the end, I just kind of added rough textures around the color that I placed. I'll show you that once we get to there. But the thumbnail, in my opinion, turned out a lot cuter than the finalized piece. Which, again, might have just been because I was using a method I wasn't familiar with, or maybe just because I just couldn't pull it off. But yeah, I was like, I really like that. Alright, let's get my acrylic out, and oh, this is where I'm soft airbrushing, pardon me. See, I'm trying to take the lighter green from the green and put it around her waist there. You'll see, at some point, the soft airbrush that I was using didn't go down. I couldn't figure out why. I was just running my pencil over it, and it just wasn't working, and I couldn't figure out why. So, that was a problem I had during this piece in Procreate that I've never actually had before. Maybe I was, like, tapping too light, or maybe the brush was too big. I have no idea. I was just tapping it and going, this isn't working. Why isn't this working? So, yeah, Mermay's going really well. Again, this is week 2. I think you guys saw at the beginning that it is the 7th of May, so technically this is the end of week 1. But I have a lot of videos going up, and I'm currently writing and then audiobooking the first chapter of that book I'm going to present to you guys, so... I actually decided to split the chapter 1 into a smaller section so I wouldn't have to be talking for so long without making any mistakes. Which, because I talk so quickly, is kind of difficult, but I'm from New Jersey. Everybody from New Jersey talks quickly, which is something I didn't know until I moved. Again, I wanted to add some of that gray color, so I decided to make it for her hair. It's like a greenish gray color. It's really cool. I really didn't even know that color existed until I saw those roots. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking while I'm yawning, which is really inappropriate. Becky's barking, but, you know. There are no bloopers in Mermay. I don't remember who I was watching, but he does talking, like recording, like I'm going to be doing for that audiobook. And I was just listening to a bunch of different audiobooks, and at the end there was an outtake. And he had outtakes where his dog was barking, and I'm like, I would be so annoyed. Like, I love my dogs, but I would probably put them in the other room. I'd probably just be like, alright, honey, come here, I'll give you a treat if you go in the other room. I would not let my dog sit there and bark at me while I was trying to get work done. I have a little bit of a cold, so you'll have to pardon me. Anyway, here I'm going for like a lighter skin tone color, which is usually just my default skin tone, pinkish color that I really should work on getting more different and versatile skin tones, but this is just kind of, this skin tone that I pick is a little bit darker than my skin tone, more suntanned. My skin tone is whiter than a white ghost on a snowy day. So, a little bit darker than my skin tone is usually what I go for, which is in the YR section, I believe, in Copics. It's been a while, and it's been like a day, but for me it's been a while. So here I am roughing in the skin tones based on the thumbnail, and then I'm going to go in and use the purple color for the clothes and the tail. Now, I'm not quite sure why I did the clothes and the tail, other than the fact that it connected. I feel like I probably should have gone with a different color. Not with a different color, with a different way of doing it. So I did the torso and everything first. Maybe I should have started with the bucket like I did when I was drawing. Maybe going inward or from top down was not the right way to render this way. I didn't even go in, you'll see once I'm done painting, I didn't even go in and do shadows, or I did a little bit of shadow work, and then I was like, I hate this, so I'm not even gonna finish it. But, yeah, definitely did not like this piece. I hate it very much. I hope that everyone on the internet forgets that I did this. But it's really good to show progress pieces and pieces that you don't like, because, again, this is a record. I can go back into Learning Draw Weekly and look at all the different things that I've ever done, and it's a full, entire record of my entire body of work. Of course, there's a bunch of stuff that's not up on Learn to Draw Weekly yet, but all of my sketchbooks that I've ever done are all on this channel. There's a bunch of, if you guys saw at the beginning when I opened Procreate, there's a bunch of Procreate stuff that's not up there. But honestly, most of the stuff, I'd say 90 to 95% of my work is on here. So I feel like it's just good to, even if I don't like it, to put up a piece I don't like. So yeah, I'm putting the tail in here. The pot might actually be too small. That might be the problem with the overall piece. I can't tell what it is. I can't figure it out. I just know I hate it. Every time I look at it, I go, ugh, and just like internally cringe to death because I dislike it that much. You guys probably dislike it too, so I'm sorry for it hurting your eyes, but it hurt my eyes too. I'm saying a lot today. It's probably because I'm tired. But yeah, we're going into the hair now. She's got kind of a little bit longer than shoulder length hair, which is a lot shorter than my hair, actually. I really like the color. I kind of want to draw more characters with this kind of color hair. It's kind of like a lightish brown kind of gray mixture. I don't know, but I love it a lot. One of the things that's good with using the acrylic brush in Procreate is, as you can see, there's actually a shadow that has formed on the top underneath the hair and on the bottom underneath the chin. I'm going in with the blending brush now and just blending out the shadows so it's a little bit more subtle. But you can see, before I start blending, that there are shadows in the acrylic before I even started, kind of. So that's pretty helpful when using that brush. If you draw the way I do, which is bottom up. At least with the face. So here I am. This is kind of like the overall. And I'm just taking the blending brush and I'm blending everything out. I think this is the acrylic brush that I'm also using for blending. So I've got to blend in the skin, and you can see on the stomach the skin is way streaky. So I'm blending in the water and blending all the colors together. And I forget what brush I use next. Oh, I go on to a different layer because I use the sketch. That's it. I did sketch on a different layer. I should probably get used to using layers more. I definitely have a little bit of trouble with that. You can see the shape of her face is actually also different in this, as opposed to the sketch, and I hate it. I hate the way everything turned out in this piece. Hiccup. Yeah, the crown turned out a lot more blotchy. It looked more like she glued it to her face than in the original, where it looked like a crown, like a 4-leaf clover crown, which would probably have been a better crown, in my opinion. Again, just circles for eyes, placeholders. I don't even go in and add whites to the eyes. I just kind of add little dots. Yep, here I go adding the dots. Because I wanted to rough out what I was doing, and I hated it too much to even continue. I'm using the HB pencil. It's my favorite pencil in the Procreate line of pencils. I do have a couple of brought-in pencils, but if you guys have any specific pencils that you like, let me know down there in that comment section so that I can download them, because I don't know, I feel like I should use different brushes, and I've never really imported too many brushes. So here I'm adding a little bit of curl to her hair by adding wiggly lines instead of super straight lines. I wanted to make it look like it was poofy, almost like it had dried after being wet for a long time in the sun. At least my hair gets really, really poofy and wavy and waggly when I just come out of the water and kind of let it air dry. So that's what I was working on. Did I hit the iPad? I'm sorry. Let's see. Her face is a lot more chubby, and the top part there, her part is a little bit further back. I also wasn't really sure about the bathing suit design. I wasn't really 100% positive on what I wanted to do there. I went from one thing to the other, and then I decided to kind of make it like an Ariel, kind of. That's kind of what it turned out to be, and I don't know, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. It looks like a real swimsuit, which is a huge plus. It doesn't look like a swimsuit made out of fake materials or non-existent materials. But, it also doesn't look like very appealing, like I was going for. And here I'm just adding in basic shapes. I, again, didn't finish this. This was the point where I was like, I don't like this. I'm just gonna add in basic textures and call it a day. So I ended up doing that. Okay, I sped up the footage a little bit, so this is less agonizing to watch. This is actually sped up 2 times, so you can see how slowly I am, I am drawing. Sorry, my dog is staring at me. She's like, who are you talking to? If you guys have been to my streams, you'll know my Bella dog. She's just looking at me like I'm nuts. It's so funny. Anyway, so yeah, I did the textures agonizingly slow. I was agonizingly slow with where I wanted to put it, and just because I didn't like it. It really is. It's just, I didn't like it. I didn't want to work on it anymore. I was like, this whole thing needs to be scrapped. I don't like it. I hate it. Please get it out of my face. I don't want to look at it anymore. So even sped up twice, it's still not good. This is where I'm going in and blending out, and then I go in and I use shadows by using the color wheel. One of the great things about the color wheel in Procreate is you can change the shadows, the tones, really, really, really easily. If you can see there, the bottom bar with the color, you can make it darker or lighter and have it be the same shade. Just super quickly. Just click on that color wheel, drag it down. There you go, you got your shadow. One of the things I really, really, really like about Procreate. I'm still kind of new to colors, so it's really, really great to be able to do that because I'm a nub when it comes to colors. So being able to take the same color and drag it down in tone, super, super good. So I'm adding some shading to the hair, some shading to the face, and I added a little bit of pink blushies and blended them out so she has color in her cheeks. I was hoping with adding more shading and color that I would like it. I didn't. Otherwise, I probably would have shaded the water lettuce down at the bottom there so that it added more to the piece. And then probably changed the water in the pot to have texture instead of just being blue. Kind of like a placeholder. I do end up adding some scales and changing her fin a little bit because I think it looks better. It just doesn't look like a fin right now. You're not quite sure what it is. So adding a couple of scales and a couple of lines to the end fin really, really sets it apart. Alright guys, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys for more Mermay later.